Good afternoon and welcome to H.M. Brown & Associates Peak Performance, where we give you tips on how to keep your cars performing smoothly and safely. I'm Perry Moss. I'm a broker at H.M. Brown & Associates, and today we're going to talk a little bit about getting your car ready for winter. Winter driving tips and thoughts, not really driving tips, but thoughts about how to keep the car in good shape. The most important thing when we talk about driving in winter is traction. And the way to handle that, the thing we need to look at first is your tires. This is an example of a fairly new tire. It's in very good shape. The tread is appropriate. When you're driving a tire, most of the tires in Colorado are what are known as all-season tires. The thing to look for on a tire is a rating called M&S. So what you'll see on the tire, very difficult to see right there, is M+S. That means the tread is appropriate for driving in mud and snow. It's been designed appropriately to drive that way. The other thing to look at is tread wear. This tire is very, very new. The tread is very, very deep. But what you'll see on here is something called tread bars. It's a little bar that's down inside the tread. As the tire wears out, the tread will drop down to where that bar is level with the surface. When that happens, it means you're down to 30 seconds or so, and it's time to replace the tire. So you look at your tires, see if you see the tread bar sticking out. If they are, get the tire replaced. The other thing to look at is inflation. It's important for proper traction and safety that your tires be inflated to the recommended settings by the tire manufacturer and the car manufacturer. So get out once a month at least and inspect your tires, look at these things and check the tire pressure. You can do that yourself with a very simple tire gauge or go have a professional do it for you. One of the things that many of the newer cars have is something called a TPMS, or tire pressure monitor system. It's a great safety feature. It will tell you light will come on your dash if the tires look to be low. The problem we see in the winter times is they're kind of finicky. If you get a cold snap, that light will come on, and in fact, everything could be fine. Better safe than sorry. If that light comes on, go out, at least do a visual inspection of your tires, check them if you can, and then keep an eye on it. But we see a lot of that during the winter months where it becomes a problem with the finicky TPMS system. The next thing I like to talk about is something called seeing and being seen. So the first thing is, let's talk about your headlights. You should go out and you should do an inspection all around the car. Make sure that there's no crack in it. Make sure that all the bulbs work. You can have somebody help you check the brake lights, check the headlights, make sure that all the lights are there. You should do your best to keep the surface clean, because especially in the winter months when we have splashback, if it's very dirty, not only does it make the light drop off a lot, but it also makes it more susceptible to having slush and snow stick to the headlights. So you should keep that clean. Speaking of slush and snow, your windshield needs to be clean. And this windshield has a problem. I'm going to step around over here and point out. This windshield got a rock chip in it. It's a little rock chip right in here. If that is addressed where this is, if that was addressed right away and you can have it repaired, you have no problem. If you wait, one of the things that happens in winter months is we get hot and cold cycles. That hot and cold cycle will do what this windshield has. It'll take a very small rock chip and you'll get this crack that spreads. This windshield needs to be replaced. This crack is going to continue to spread and eventually it'll obstruct your vision and it's not really safe. So it's important to inspect your windshield, have those chips addressed, replace the windshield. In terms of visibility, as we talked about splashback and keeping the windshield clean, you need to have plenty of windshield wiper fluid. Windshield wiper fluid you get at your local store, your Walmart, even your King Soopers store. You can get windshield wiper fluid and do that yourself. It's at the proper mix so it won't freeze. If you're going to do this yourself, it's important to put it in the right place. Here's an example. You can see the indicator on the fill spot. There's a little thing that's obviously for windshield wiper fluid. Fill that up and you're good. If you're going to do that yourself, that's great. Don't fill it up. Over here, this is an example of, this is actually brake fluid. That would be a bad idea to put it there. So do that yourself, or you can have a trusted mechanic do it for you, which brings us to the next topic, which is to get a trusted mechanic to work with. Trusted mechanic is somebody that has had somebody refer to you, that you know is trustworthy. He's not going to try and rip you off. He knows about vehicles, and he will do something that you also need to do, which is to have your brakes checked. So they're going to look at things like, are the pads worn? Do they need to be replaced? Are the rotors worn? You have a lot of shimmy and shaking when you apply the brakes, so the rotors need to be perhaps resurfaced or changed. So have those brakes checked, make sure that you've got good braking power while you're going on, and use that trusted mechanic to do that. In terms of another issue on safety is many of the cars today have cruise control. So cruise control feature is a great feature for driving around. It's not a good idea to use cruise control during the winter months or during when you have issues of traction. So heavy rain, snow, slush. Cruise control is designed to keep the car going at a very steady state. And when you have issues where traction is lost, it could basically rev the wheels and make it an unsafe condition. So you should not use cruise control during those times of driving conditions. The last thing I want to talk about briefly in terms of safety is having an emergency kit in the car. You're driving in the mountains in the winter around, you get stuck somewhere, you should have an emergency kit. Our next episode of H.M. Brown's Peak Performance is going to talk in more detail about the emergency kit. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining us. I am Perry Moss with H.M. Brown Associates. The intelligent way to buy or lease any vehicle, new or used. Give us a call at 303-740-8065 or see us on the web at hmbrown.com.